see me? Okay. Okay, yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, I see that. I'm live. All right, thank you very much. Yay! Okay, bye. Ah. I hope everyone can hear me. I just got off the phone with SJ, who's really patient with me. We had some weird tech issues trying to get on Facebook Live, but we're here now. Sorry for the delay. Thanks for everyone who's coming in right now. I'm really grateful for you being here. Yeah, I guess I'll wait a second or two and let some people trickle in. I just want to say, like, I am logging in from New Jersey, and the weather's been really rainy and very gloomy, which I think is a really great weather for me because I tend to be very productive on rainy days. And I will share a rainy day poem for the occasion. Again, I want to thank Sundress Publications and Poets in Pajamas for making this happen. Special shout out to SJ for being on the phone with me and keeping calm. And we're here live now. Just a heads up, we're gonna have like a short Q&A session at the end. So feel free to like comment and talk amongst yourselves in the comment section and throw a question for later. Just a heads up, there is a bit of a delay in me reading comments, so just keep that in mind. And lastly, I just want to mention that I'm very grateful to have this reading to close the month of May, which is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So without further ado, I'm going to share a few poems. My first poem is called Arranging the Fruit Bowl. Arranging the fruit bowl. Gather 12 round fruits. Line them up by size, craving, mood, sweet to sour. Build a timeline of things to be. A plum victory, lychee chance, watermelon hope. In the new year, your father will finally believe your drawings aren't tracings, but the perfect circle will always be your own face, or the cyst you forget to mention. Like a grape bunch, you count what dots you as just one thing. Apples always in season, pomelo from the neighbor's tree, oranges and their soft seedless miniatures. Arrange them in a bowl, cantaloupe heart center, small and ripened fruits around. This is luck consumable, round as coins, cash green enough, your mother will stop asking how much a poem makes. So I wanted to begin my reading with that fruit poem. I guess because a lot of my poems are centered around the idea of fruit or food as a love language, and lo and behold, my pajamas are peaches. So yeah. Also, just a heads up, if anyone needs an accessible copy of the poems, I believe someone on the staff will like drop a link to the drive if you need it. Yeah. Next poem is It Takes 3 Minutes to Steep Green Tea. This is my Ars Poetica. It takes 3 minutes to steep green tea to your liking, and so gently unfold the tea bag paper, flatten it as a page, and write as you would a letter to a friend. Say, sometimes the ideas are banded by the blinds, but you know them to be vivid as blessing. The cantor's voice carrying a song too high, wavering like a stringed instrument. The book on the road shoulder, open to each passing car, its pages thumbed through by circumstance. Say, to witness means nothing at a talent show. To harbor means to run with the possibility that the seed accidentally eaten could root inside you, that the seagull on the shore faints into the ocean, so you could pity it more than the fish. To steep means to let the day fade over, as you fumble with the memory of how your center pixelated into a hovering lightness, humbly rearranged. Everything here is borrowed. Your birthmark, an archipelago on the Pacific. Tonight's moon, your fingernail. The found face on marble, familiar in your dreams. And your tea, cold as the room. Next poem is Kanji Lesson. And this is an eco poem or an eco poetic that I wrote kind of thinking about what changes we can do to have a better, improved symbiotic relationship with the environment. It's called Kanji Lesson because I play with like Japanese kanji, how pictorial that language system is or letter system is, and what like those pictures can hint to us, as well as like what physical signs in the world can hint to us what we can do to improve it, to make it better, to care for it. This is a good poem to have a physical version of because I do show the kanji. Kanji Lesson. I'm calling from a future nearer than the numbers predicted. We'll be alive together. Witness a warming planet, taller oceans. We'll read kanji and trace the days of the week to their elements. On Mondays, we'll portion to the moon, work half the hours, travel on a crescent of fuel. On Tuesdays, we'll save fire for what we can't see under natural light. On Wednesdays, we'll fill the bath for each family member, soak in it, wash our clothes in it. On Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, we'll count the holes in the canopy, sprinkle the soil until it sparkles, breathe in our gardens. On Sundays, we'll stand in the heat, dressed in vibrant colors, and revel in their fading shades. This will be our fashion, our conscious break, a stalling. Do you read your plant's leaves? They curl yellow to say they're tired of the storms, brown they're hurt by days too bright. Do you count your lover's moles formed in a summer still in winter? What can you tell from a hazy sky and brackish sea once a blue mirror? Read the cloud shapes and mourn the animals that once were. To write forest, you stack 3 trees. This implies the many, not the minimum. Moon is a sun character with wispy ends, and sun with moon spells bright, as in the future wished by a blown candle. Person is the rendering of legs in stride, one-legged or just a syllable, arms outstretched to all solutions, we could be great. And person beside a tree is rest. See my time. Okay. Next poem is called Pajamas, and I wrote this kind of when I was discovering how much I enjoyed just like alone time and being home and cooking, and just like food scraps, like the possibility of food scraps to make into broth, to put into compost. And so pommet is a artistic term of like, I don't know the exact definition, but it's sort of an arrangement like of a decorative motif. So this is me making a decorative motif out of scraps from doing my chores and whatnot. Pommet. Of the morning slow, of mise en place, of the dustpan sweep, of plant upkeep. My hand quick across the marble island, a touch before dust can claim. The day seemingly same, artfully arranged. An avocado half, centered, seed secured, pothos clippings, yellow, surrounding, an onion slice, green growth, new middle, cornered root ends of scallions and garlic, mud-stained bok choy leaves, an arched fan, the spicy core of a pepper, dotted accents, a pinched ant and caught spider, My hair, your hair, fronds. Papery skins alive as you cut the bok choy base for its rosette, to dip in grease, to stamp the cloth. Water cycle. And this is a poem about rain. Water cycle. In the morning, the day's seconds fall as torrential rain. You wake to the sound of rice spilling from our ancestors' hands, their incessant taps, a progression that fills the family home. Answer back, your hand a warm shape on the cool glass, intention spelt with mirrored letters. Remember them now. Move like sunlight through the day, work hard until every puddle evaporates. Wait for a reply. I've got 2 more poems. Just again, if you have any questions for after this reading, be sure to put them in the comment section. My next poem is like my quintessential poem, and I'm very, very happy to have written it in the past year. It's called Clementine. I love clementines. I have like a painting of clementines over here and whatnot. But here we go. Clementine. I placed one in your pocket. Hold it on overcast moments. Dig into its rind. Draw your initial. Keep the peel whole, intact. Remember this fruit is of sunshine. Its sinews sun rays, the unfurled casing a cloud conundrum. I saw a galloping horse, the clementine center an awakened eye. Once a cat outstretched, once an open hand with uneven fingers. Remember how the bright edges light and the sweet aroma that follows. Remember all the people who polka dot our lives, like the Ajima in Busan, whose wrinkled hands in yours weighed with 3 ripe rounds. Come again. Unni who balanced the fruit like stones, wishing for a reunion, no matter the country. Be well. Your mother brewing the day's discarded peels with cinnamon over the stove, like a candle. To cool down the fruit, you tucked one in your swimsuit last summer, dove deep, the fruit bursting from your chest, buoyant. There were 5 pieces for each of us. The first slice, she loves me. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, I love you still. Stained fingernail, sour sometimes, this fruit to share. I placed one in your pocket. Yay. And my last poem, I usually end my readings with Clementine, but I think today I'll end with a new poem, a love poem. My partner just moved in with me yesterday. Today is technically our first full day together, and I wrote this poem for him, for us, for our 7th year anniversary. And this poem is titled Anime Intro. Just a little bit of background. My partner and I met in Florida, but we were both from New Jersey, and we both had dreams of teaching in South Korea, and then traveled, and then we're back in New Jersey. So there's a lot of like geographic movement in this poem, as well as a lot of like quintessential shoujo anime kind of references. So wind, that wind, ever strong wind, looking into the sky, the moon, and all that movement, I tried to insert in this piece. So my last piece, Anime Intro. There's the wind again, scribbling hair around our faces, tangling us in a dark brown ether, where I see in your eyes the Paramus Park Mall carousel. You were the boy on the blue-reined horse, the baby born summers before me in Elizabeth Hospital. Yours was a hand pressed on the car window, passing on I-95. We sit on a bench in Jacksonville, map out this synchronicity, admitting the places we want to go. On A1A, I wrap around your waist, watch our shadows lap on the road. We lean into the turn on a motorcycle, then on a tandem bike by the Han River, where cherry blossoms rain down. We are teachers, you in the city, me in the countryside, and it takes 30 minutes to be together by bus. People look up from their phones and stare at how you tap away on your FM synth, while I crochet a beanie so fast, like the trains in Japan where you are happiest. My dream is your dream, crying at the Studio Ghibli store. When I just moved to Florida, I saw a photo of you dressed as Tombo for Halloween. I dared to type hello first, and every day since, you are the only one I'd go up Tokyo Tower with and hover over the city that Unicorn Gundam in Odaiba swears to protect. Oh, I lost my place. I catch our reflection in the glass walls, then on Jersey City storefronts, where my hometown becomes our home. My friends are your friends, and yours are mine, present in all the lives we've lived already. Inchworm, our handshake, fingers grip and thumbs lock and wings spread for a bird on its way up. There's the wind again, scribbling hair around our faces. Our glasses clash when we lean in cheek to cheek and assess the moon above. A sliver of milk left in your bowl, a sugar cookie half eaten, full. Yay! Okay, that's it for my poems. Thank you again for logging in, and sorry for the lateness and tech difficulties, but I'm very happy to see that people are viewing this. I'm gonna go ahead and check the comments and see if there's any questions. Oh, and thank you to people who are logging in from different time zones. I'm here in Eastern Standard Time, but I see a friend from London. That's so great. Oh, hi. A lot of people from my cohort. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, I have a question for Maya. She says, do you think being multilingual affects your writing? Absolutely. I know a few languages. I'm only really fluent in English, and then I understand Tagalog 100%, but I respond like a baby. And then I know conversational Japanese and Korean, having traveled and lived there for a while. So, for example, like in kanji lesson, I played around with the kanji characters and the meaning behind them. I have other pieces too where I play with accents, Filipino accents, and I do use Korean terms here and there. For example, Ani is a character that comes up in a lot of my poems, referring to a good friend of mine I made in Korea. And Ani means like older sister, even if they're not related to you in any way. So yeah, absolutely. Yes. Oh, hi, Holly. Holly is logging in from South Korea. Thank you for coming. Yes, this video will retrospectively post after I end it, so you can go view me awkwardly fumbling to begin. But yes. Do you focus more on feeling or form when writing? And this is from Caitlin. I think more feeling. I feel like a lot of the poems that I've been writing lately are very story-based. And that has been a little difficult for me to write because, one, I want a very succinct poem, but two, I have a narrative that I want to write. So the process for me to kind of accommodate this narrative and feeling, but then try to put it in a very succinct form is I always kind of journal my way to the poem, kind of write the events or write lists of like what images I want to focus on, what are the key moments or details that need to be said, and what can I just like ignore, or why am I like why am I hyper aware of certain things, and is that necessary? Lately I've been reading, I picked up this book because of its wonderful title. It's called Salad Anniversary, which is very charming. It's by a poet named Machi Tawara, and a lot of their poems are just long like narratives, but they're in tercets, and I've been enjoying it, just because it's like allowing me to just put what I want to put as far as narrative, like on the page and then cut later. So I kind of appreciate how she's just going with that poem, and it's very long, and I feel like at a certain point I can forgive some stanzas that are not so great because the story is there, or like everything else is doing well. But sorry, that was a long answer to your question. I think it's more feeling lately. Hello from Toronto. Thanks for logging on. If there are no other questions, I can maybe sneak in another poem. Let's see. Oh, what else are you reading inspired by recently? And it doesn't have to be poetry. Well, leading up to this reading, I was like on a 14-hour drive with my partner from Florida to New Jersey. So I think I'm mainly inspired by like weird coincidences or things that I see. For one, when you're driving up I-95, you see like all these different signage and billboards that each state is repping. Unfortunately, there are some political like billboards that I'm not about, but I love that when you go from Florida to Georgia, you trade your oranges for Georgia peaches, and then you keep going, you trade that for pecans, and then you trade that for peanuts. I guess I'm just inspired by every day mainly, and especially because of being in quarantine and staying indoors mainly, I'm kind of inspired by like the mundane and then its magical like possibilities. Yeah. What span of years do these poems represent in your life? Are they in a collection, in progress, forthcoming? Does your artwork and poetry interact in any way in terms of inspiration or obsessions, etc.? Thank you, April. Thanks for logging in and being here. I'm in an MFA program right now. I do have a manuscript in progress that I did have a title for, so that's exciting. Pending title is Siphons. It comes from a poem that I didn't share tonight. And hopefully, along with finishing my thesis, I'll have a good manuscript I'm proud of. So far, so good. And yes, I think, so I also do illustration and crochet and other like art mediums. And they definitely interact and inform my writing. Yeah. I feel like there's a piece that I wrote back in 2019 where that like synthesis of multimedia kind of came about, where I was writing about a black hole. And this is a poem that's published on Bridge 8. It's called Messier 8087, about the black hole picture. And that came about from drawing perspective drawings, and imagining like the black hole as like a vantage point. So I do think like there is my other art pursuits inform my writing. And sometimes writing gets so intimidating that like if I switch gears and draw for a bit, and I like drawing like ugly cute stuff, like very low pressure things, that joy I can like transfer to my writing, which I feel like my editorial mind stops me from starting a lot of the time. So yeah, I definitely recommend kind of dabbling with different things just to reset your discipline, reset your mindset. What's the favorite poem you've written to date? And could you explain what about it makes it your favorite poem? Yes. I'm trying to answer this shortly. My favorite poem is Clementine. It's my favorite poem because that fruit kind of represents a lot of things for me, as far as like living in different locations, whether it be at home with my mom in Florida or being in Namyangju, South Korea, where I lived for a while. That fruit was always a gesture of love. And that poem allowed me to kind of bring these people I love, these people that polka dotted my life with this fruit all together. That poem also allowed me to kind of, sometimes I'm worried that my poems might be confusing because the location, the language changes. But I think in that piece, it translates really well. So I love that poem, and it is forthcoming in a publication, which I won't say that right now because we're still in the works of that. Yeah. Any other questions? All the long answers is amazing to hear. Yeah. If there are no other questions, I will explain like my Ars Poetica piece, which I read earlier. It's called It Takes 3 Minutes to Steep Green Tea. If I can find it. So many papers. The shape looks like this. And that comes from a part of my process is I don't really have a great writing discipline, but I do drink tea almost every day. So what I do, and if there's anything, if people can take away something, if you drink tea every day and you're trying to write, try to get like a tea bag that like has paper on it. So I have like Bromley green tea. Sponsor me. Bromley green tea. And it takes about like 3 minutes to steep green tea, but you're also heating water. So during your time of waiting for your tea to get ready, I usually like write, this one's not written on, but I usually do write like something here, whether it be like a listicle, a little journal entry, or just nonsense. Yeah, I do that. So, tea writing. If there are no other questions, I think I'm going to sign off soon. I want to say thank you again to Sundress Publications and Poets in Pajamas for hosting me, choosing me to be part of this series. If you like this format of like from 7 p.m. to 7:30, there is a poet lined up almost every Sunday. So definitely stay tuned. It has been such a comfort to like view and be part of this as an audience member during quarantine and discovering new writers all across the map. But yeah, thank you very much again to everyone being here. I will see you later. Bye. Thank you.